Hail and Meshes Kingdom and Wuchang Fallen Feathers just released today. And that's my day one first look at this new Soulslike game. I want to start with biggest elephant in the room, invisible elephant, because there is no minimap. Yeah, having no minimap in a game is kinda weird in 2K25, and that's probably something that can really scare a lot of players. However, you can believe me, it's awesome. It's actually insanely cool that we got no minimap. First of all, what other cool games have no minimap? You can instantly remember Elden Ring. Yeah, Elden Ring is an amazing Souls-like game, one of a kind, and Wuchang Fallen Feathers is not different. Biggest problem with no minimap is actually overwhelming feeling that you can miss something. And you know what? In Elden Ring it's probably true, but in Wuchang it's completely not true. Because while it's kinda open world, you may say, in reality it's just locations with bunch of roads and that's it. So it's pretty linear game and it's almost impossible to miss something that you actually need. You may miss some roads and few secrets here and there, but there's completely no problems with it. And overall look and atmosphere in the game is just amazing. So there's no minimap, but it's cool. The next thing we will talk about is jumping. And yeah, there is no jump, but it's also cool. It's insanely weird pressing jumping button and seeing that your character is not jumping at all. However, you know what? It's actually pretty cool when you play for like half an hour, maybe for 1 hour. You get used to controls, you forget about jumping at all, you forget about jumping completely, and the coolest part about this actually, that it helps to dive deep and feel engaged in the game. Basically, when there is a minimap, when there is jumping, you're just looking on minimap and then trying to look where you can jump. In this game, however, you just can't jump. Therefore, all locations is basically horizontal. There is no verticality in the game. And while there is no verticality, it kinda narrows down where you want to watch. Just imagine if you can do something like double jump, like in Elden Ring Night Rain, for example. You will run around and look up, down, like where you can go, where you can jump. In this game, it's completely not true. You just go forward and basically you're trying to identify what's on like small percentage of the screen. Is there something interesting? Is there some secrets you may go to? And everything below or above middle line is basically like next locations, some secret passages that you will find later, and that's it. It kinda narrows down mechanics in combat, because without jump, of course, you can't avoid some attacks with jumping, but you can avoid everything in this game with just evading, rolling, dashing. I don't know how it's called in the game. Basically, this ability to quickly move. Yeah, it's got a lot more usage than normal rolls in Dark Souls, in Elden Ring, in other Souls-like, and that's also cool. So there is no roll technically, there's just dash ability, but when you're rolling, you're actually committing to it. Basically, you're having nice boost instantly, you're having few frames of invincibility in the middle of roll, and then you are vulnerable for a little bit because you slow down and there is no invincibility frame. However, in this game, there is actually full invincibility when you're doing this wait action. You're just dashing left and right and you will avoid all attacks. You get enough stamina to just avoid attacks on time. It's a lot more forgiving than rolling in Elden Ring and then eating big slam from some giant, for example. And that's also really great. So combat is overall pretty simplified. If you got nice build, for example, like me, I got nice longsword build right now. Basic mobs are feeling pretty like basic. It's just like slasher game, so it's really fun and action-packed. While bosses possess some challenge and it's really interesting and cool fights. However, without jumping and of course with simplified mechanics, bosses got simplified mechanics too, so they don't have some crazy attacks. They got different mechanics, different ways how they can punish you, some timings adjustments, but overall it's pretty like simplified version of bosses that you may encounter in previous Souls-like games played. And that's not the only simplified mechanic in this game. Also, there is no minimap, because besides no minimap, but it's cool, no jump, but it's cool, no roll, but it's cool, there is no mana. but it's also cool. Why? Basically, mana is a resource, and in game balance, space just a resource to limit your ability to use spells. Because spells most of the time will have some really powerful broken mechanics, or otherwise no one will use them. So game kinda needs to limit you in spell usage. In this game there's no mana, but why it's cool? Because there's new resource. It's basically feathers that you get when you evade attacks, deflect attacks, and stuff like that. There's different ways how you can get them. There's actually points in passive skill tree that can help you accumulate them passively, but overall this mechanic gives us a risk-reward situation. You can go forward, you can try to avoid enemy attacks instead of just running away, then you get this resource really fast, and then you unleash your skills, your magic, whatever you like. And this creates a really nice interactions and forces you to play aggressively from time to time, especially if you're running some sword build and not pure magic build. Because with pure magic, of course, you can stay far away, wait when you get your magic passively, and then shoot with your magic. But with other weapons, with other skills for other weapons, there's actually no problem at all to just rush forward, do some crazy stuff, flashy combos, and then unleash full power of your skills upon enemies and upon bosses, of course. The next one is free respect. Yeah, it's also cool. Actually, I don't like when games give you free respect. I don't like respects at all. I like RPG games when you start from scratch and then totally invest in your character. But why I enjoy this in this game? Of course, the reason is simple. We can experiment easily with weapons, with different stuff, with different magic, with builds, with whatever we like, without stressing a lot. And this kinda, I could guess, even philosophy behind this game design team. So they kinda simplified magic, you know? There's no magic at all, you just don't need to bother, do you have mana or not? There's no jumping, so you just need to watch on bosses, you need to watch when they're trying to attack you, and then you try to dash away and evade their attacks. There's no minimap, so you can see the world, see the beautiful game they created, but also there's no jumping, so you don't need to look everywhere around. You can just chill, relax, and have fun. And same goes with the respects. I actually started without even reading what's going on my passive skill tree. I decided that I will use long sword, and that's it. I just enjoyed the game, and I started creating build only after first act. And you can completely freely just invest points in some passive skills, get more damage, and that's it. And when you get bored, just go respect your character, change your build, and have fun with other weapons and other styles. The next stuff that is also cool is story, and it's basically kinda boring, I would say. So everyone got amnesia, no one knows what's going on, everyone or almost everyone got this feather, kinda zombie disease, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. So it's super basic, there's almost no conflict in it. And why it's cool? Because who cares when game is fun, when game is really engaging and looks really great, who needs some complex story? I like how dialogues with NPC is working. It's not Elden Ring style when you just don't know if there is any dialogue lines left or not. You just talk with the NPC, there is some options. If there is no option, NPC will just go with the same line over and over again, with just some useful line where you need to go, and that's it. Also, there's some fun moments, some fun dialogues, and that's what I like. Another thing that I really enjoyed is baits. Yeah, there is lots of baits in Elden Ring. For example, I will compare these games forever in this video because I just beat Elden Ring a few days ago, and right now I'm playing this Soulslike, so it's definitely nice to compare Wuchang to it. And there's loads of baits, like when you go upstairs, there's some guard standing behind the corner trying to push you off the stairs. And in Elden Ring they're so common, they basically on every ladder, on every corner there's a guard who's standing and trying to push you, so you kinda expect that there someone will be. In this game, however, they are so strategically placed, like screamers in good scary movie. Basically, you're running around, you're feeling fine, and then you think, okay, I got no flasks left, I need to go and restart area and try again because I can't continue. And then you're like checking surroundings where you need to go and see, oh, there's one item, I will just get this item and go back. You're trying to get this item, and then someone bam through the wall, destroying wall, and try trying to bite you, destroy you, throw some rocks, maybe shoot at you with big guns, and that's just amazing. There's so many baits and they're so nicely placed. I just amazed, especially like when you go to the middle of Act 1 of Area 1, when you go underground, there's insane baits actually after you cross this burning forest. You will know when you know. And if you know what's bait, and if you know this bait after you cross like burning passage and go into like forest, swamp, something like this, it's just insane. I was so amazed. It was really cool. And honestly, what else do we need from really like simple but cool looking and enjoyable game? I don't know, this game got it all. And everyone would probably be mad if I say it, but this game actually feels like Dragon Age Wheelguard. Yeah, I know it's just flop of the year, it's like Dragon Age Failguard actually, not a lot of people enjoyed it, but if you play Dragon Age without story and just by skipping all dialogue, it's pretty good game. There's fun combat with a little bit of challenge, especially on higher difficulties, and there's nice and rewarding exploration, and I'm getting exactly same feeling in this game like in Dragon Age Wheelguard. It's interesting to just look left or right, trying to find some secrets. If you see some secret, it's sometimes inaccessible, and you just need to remember that you saw something and then try to get into the secret place later. It's kinda, for example, first golden chest that you encounter in the game, it's across the river, you can't touch it, so you need to figure out how to get over there, and then you find it and you understand, oh, that's how game like mechanics, that's how level design works. And then you may find a bunch of different like items and stuff like that. You see inaccessible items and you just need to remember that, oh, if I go down the cliff later, when I see the cliff, then I probably will find this item, and yes, that's how it works. So exploration is insanely cool. For example, in Dragon's Dogma 2, exploration was awful. There was like very cool and different dungeon, and they was really proud that dungeons was humanly made, so it's not randomly generated AI slop dungeons, it's really cool dungeons. But you know what, in every dungeon in the end there is basic items that you can buy from traders insanely cheap, so exploration just not rewarding you at all. In this game you can rip your hair from the head, and then when you finally find how to get to secret location, you will understand, whoa, that's really cool item, I want to use it now. It's pretty fine, it could work for my build, or maybe for next build I will make later in the act, so it's really good. Overall mechanics is actually super simplified, so we don't need to understand this stab slash feather mechanics. Almost nothing actually can change how you will play, and if you manage to avoid attacks, basically you will be fine. And avoiding attacks again is pretty simple, because timing the window of opportunity, I mean window when enemy can attack you between dashes, is so low, you can basically avoid everything. And probably, okay, coolest part about the game is of course a lot of costumes. Yeah, there's lots of sets and they are so cool. And you know, the biggest problem in most of the games like this, that cool useful sets is actually looking awful. You just don't want to put them on your character. In this game, however, there's transmogrification right from the start of the game. You just can equip best weapons, best armors you need that will work, and change appearance of them to any other item you get, and can look however you like. You can look like knight in iron cuirass, like samurai, doctor, like monk, like mini panda, basically however you like. And that's like the coolest parts in the game. And overall, is this game cool and I recommend it? Yes, its game is pretty cool. And if you need some cool build for this game, make sure to check video on the screen right